Hello, special beings. Hello, everyone. I am so jazzed to be connecting with all of you. Let me just make sure my mic is on loud. I know I do this every time. I get it. I know, honey. Hold up. Let me just make sure my thing is. See, it wasn't on the max. I want max microphone input. Max. I don't do anything less than max. Okay. So I haven't checked in with you guys in probably 2 weeks since my last message with the Galactic Federation of Light. And I thought tonight would be a perfect time to do an energy report for April. April, my friends, is going to be filled with surprises. It's also filled with potentials to attune yourself to higher dimensional domains of frequency. So April is almost like a piñata that's going to crack open and is going to bear all these gifts upon you. April is going to be a launch pad, like for the rockets, where you're going to get to fly. You're going to get to launch yourself into the highest realities. April is going to be amazingly fun, amazingly light, amazingly playful, amazingly humorous. And it's time to let your personalities come out of the closet with all your different personalities. I was telling my friends on Instagram Live now that I have so many different personalities. I have fill in the blank. That's one of my names. I have Philanthropa. Philanthropa, she donates a lot to like really nice organizations. I have one called Philomena. It's Wilhelmina's competitor. So you have to have fun with your different personalities. It's part of being here. We have to taste the rainbow. So yes, it's yeah, I have Phil Hood. I do have Phil Hood. I've been rolling with Philomena lately. Wilhelmina ain't got nothing on me. Philomena is a top model, and she didn't need Wilhelmina. She didn't need Wilhelmina models. So let us begin, yes? All right. So April is going to be unmatched. It's going to be one of those months that is extremely unique in its ability to provide you with, to supply you with numerous occasions to bridge yourself into a higher vibrational space. Before I came on, because my guides do this a lot, they started bombarding me with all these messages. They said to me, if you're not where you want to be, it is because you think there is something wrong with where you currently are. So if you're not where you want to be, it's because you think there's something wrong with where you presently are. So I have so much to share tonight. This month is all about bridging the gaps, meaning doing the integrative work, meaning extracting the goodness, extracting the juice from where you presently stand. So if you can imagine, you have all these slots to fill. It looks like a grid. And where you are right now, there's all these empty slots, and you have to fill them with your own power. Once you fill in that grid, you graduate onto the next chapter of your life. But a lot of us, we're very eager about getting to that next chapter now. And by being eager to get to the next chapter now, you're literally giving your power away to another now moment. You are giving your power away to another now moment, not recognizing that that now moment that you're desirous of, that you're yearning for, that next now moment that is in a future timeline that is inevitable, meaning it's already been written in the stars, because as soon as you have a desire, that it etches into your matrix field, into your soul matrix, that you will have that thing that you're wanting. So the desire that you have is linking into another timeline, but you're giving too much of your power away to that future timeline. So you're still functioning from a place of separateness because you see this other timeline as being separate from you. But you have to remember that in the quantum field of existence, that future now that you're desirous of, that you are longing for or yearning for, is interacting with you where you currently stand. It's just that you haven't been given evidence of this fact yet. However, this future physicalized timeline is working in concert with you now to help you fill in that grid, to help you fill in those slots, because it wants to prep you for what's to come. The other thing is, it knows that you're not ready for what's to come because you're still trying to escape where you currently stand. So there's an unconscious aspect at play. Thank you so much for the donations. Brad, thank you. Ariana, Elizabeth. So there is a unconscious aspect that is at play right now that is driving you away from your now, and you're trying to get to a destination prematurely, which signifies that you are still entrenched in the linear construct of time. I will be okay when this arrives, or I will be okay when I arrive where I want to go. Then all of my troubles will melt away. And that, my friends, is deluded thinking. That, my friends, is being caught in a fanciful reality that a future now, which actually holds a higher frequency, so follow me, your future now holds a higher frequency than where you are. So what you're stating to the universe is, I can handle a higher frequency, but I can't handle where I am. And what you may not realize, and this is very profound, you're going to have to follow me on this video because I'm on a roll right now. What you're going to have to come to realize is that the higher frequency of this future now is what is catalyzing your need to escape your now, your need to not be present with your now. Because your future now carries a much higher resonance of vibration. Anytime you have a higher resonance of vibration, it will bring up to the surface what needs to be dealt with, what needs to be looked at, what needs to be examined, what needs to be resolved, what needs to be solved, what needs to be dissolved. So there are lower frequencies that the future now that you want is catalyzing in you. And rather than attending to those frequencies, you are trying to depart your now moment and get to the next place. So in other words, you are splintering off, which is unconscious, rather than realizing that it's all here now. So what the guide said is, if you're not where you want to be, it's because you still think there's something wrong with where you presently are. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with where you are. As a matter of fact, where you are is your launch pad for your next reality. Like a rocket ship, you're going to launch yourself into this next reality. But your guides need you to fill in that grid. What does this look like? So let's get into this. We're going to use practical examples tonight. So you are in a relationship right now, and there's a lot of dissonance in that relationship. Why? Because you find that you're the awakened one who is going through your ascension process, and it's all happening very rapidly. And then on the other hand, your partner, your significant other, hasn't awakened yet. So it's creating a gap between you two. which is the disharmony, which is the dissonance. And you're wondering, should I leave this relationship? I don't feel like I'm compatible with my partner anymore. I don't feel like we have anything left in common. But the way your guides see it is that you're still in that relationship and you're fighting the fact that you're in that relationship. So you're trying to run away from something that you haven't physically run away from yet. There's a reason as to why you're still there. The reason why you're still there is because there's a dominant vibration in your energy field that is needing to be attended to. And as you attend to that dominant vibration in your field, you are going to fill in that grid. How would you do this? Well, number one, you have to say to yourself, I'm here for a reason. There's obviously a contract that is playing out between me and my partner, or me and my soulmate, or me and my significant other. There's a contract that I'm playing out with them. And the only reason why I'm suffering is because I'm fighting the fact that I'm in this relationship. And there's no need or no sense in fighting because you are where you are. So you might as well just accept it for now. Because you'll know when you've tied up those loose ends. You'll know. Because you won't have a struggle in you anymore. So you guys will either succeed as a couple or the relationship will come to a termination point where you can then consciously, lovingly dissolve that relationship. But the reason why there's a gap is because there's a lesson that you need to take with you. There's a lesson that you need to extract from that situation that is going to enable you to become more conscious, meaning to light up that grid, meaning to fill in those slots. And when you light up that grid, you're going to be prepared to move on to the next chapter of your life. And you won't have to do this actively. It will be done for you and through you by the higher you. It'll be done through you and for you by the higher you that wants you to accept the contract that you're currently in, because by not committing to that, you are trying to run away from that. And by running away from that, you remain in a fragmented state. So you are constantly giving your power away to a future now. Oh, I wonder what would happen if I was single right now. Oh, I wish I was single right now. Oh, I don't understand why we're not working out. So you're constantly trying to run away from where you presently are. So the key is then integration. You become so in love with yourself on a divine level that you no longer see your significant other as unawakened. You see them as divine as well. You don't see them through a greasy lens or through a yellow goggle anymore. That is you being newly awakened and thinking that you're superior, which is hierarchy, and hierarchical structures are what we are crumbling right now and dissolving right now. So thinking that you're more awakened than your partner is a judgment in and of itself. You will reach a point in your awakening where you are so in love with yourself that you unconditionally accept everyone in your life. Now, that's not to suggest that you're going to end up being in a romance with them or in a relationship with them, but there will be no more negative charge when you are around them. Right now, there's a negative charge because you're still judging them, which means that deep down in your subterrane of consciousness, in your subconscious, there is still a judgment that you have towards yourself that you're unaware of. Because we only judge others when we judge ourselves. But the thing about this awakening is it's an unpeeling of many layers. And it's a never-ending journey. It's an unending process. So you're always going to peel back into deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper layers. So there's a judgment that you hold right now that you may be, that may be unbeknownst to you. And you will uncover what that is as you continue to open up your heart, as you continue to vibrate yourself into that space of unconditional love, where you see your partner as a divine being of God and source. You have to stop in life, all of us, we have to stop looking for others to meet our qualifications, because that's still conditional. When you are able to pour into yourself with that spiritual energy, with that source energy, you don't need your partner to be spiritual anymore, because you can meditate and give yourself what they could never give you. Because your connection to source is so sacred that it becomes like a private office that you have in your mind where you get to work away. where you get to work at this relationship, at building this rapport with Source. Okay, so it's very profound. Thank you, Jennifer. That was very generous of you. Thank you, DB Luna. So I'm going to use another example now. And then I'm going to segue into why this is important this month. Another example is you're at a job. This is a job. You wish you would leave. You're pulling your hair out. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. And in the meantime, you have this other job that is your dream job that is working with you in this job that you're currently in on a non-physical level, right? You're too physically focused, so you're not seeing the opportunity that's being lended to you vibrationally. I'm going to repeat that. You're so focused physically that you're not seeing the opportunity that's being lended to you vibrationally, because every timeline dwells within this now on a vibrational level. So you might be at this job and you're fighting being at this job, meaning you're not accepting the terms and conditions of where your higher self has you right now, because it is preparing you for what's to come. And so instead of extending appreciation to that job, instead of extending gratitude to that job, you are shaking your fists at the universe like, universe, get me out of here. So you're still running from yourself. You're still outrunning a lesson. Okay? We are so conditioned, we are so programmed to focus on the absence of what we want rather than to focus on the presence of it already being here. Ooh, that was good. We focus on the absence of it rather than focusing on the presence of what's already here in the non-physical sense. So, for instance, you may want to become a healer. You may want to become a reader. You may want to become a medium. When you are a psychic, when you are a healer, you are of service to others. It's not about you anymore. It's about others. It is about you in the sense that you're constantly polishing yourself, but you show up in service to others. You step aside. So let's say that you work at the Starbucks right now and you're always irritated and everything irks you, everything gets under your skin. Are you serving the customers like you would serve your healing clientele? No, you're not. But we've become so disconnected from that quantum field that we tell ourselves, once I become a healer, I'm going to tend to everyone's needs. Once I become the healer. I call that the when then. You may want to write this down, the when then. When then. The when then. When this happens, then I'll do this. When then. Instead of saying all of my healing clients are in this space on a multidimensional scale right now, and as I interact with everyone at this job, I am bridging that gap. I am tying up those loose ends to be able to bridge myself into that next timeline. And there will not be any leakages. Because as long as you operate within an unconscious state, that unconscious will bleed into your next chapter. I repeat, as long as you operate within an unconscious state, that unconsciousness is going to bleed into the next chapter of your life. So every single thing that triggers you right now in your life, this is going to be very deep, but this was a realization I had this week. Everything that still triggers you to this day, forget the physical, because the physical is just a disguise. It's just a costume. We never want to blame it on the physical or the alcohol. Blame it on that. We never want to blame it on the physical, because the physical is always going to come in with a different human disguise to give rise to something that is unintegrated within you, to something that's unresolved, to the unfinished business. I call them the leftovers, to the energetic leftovers. So forget people, forget situations, forget places. These are all just catalysts. that swoop into your life to give rise to unfinished business. So this is where the download comes in. To this day, everything that still triggers you, that gets you bent out of shape, that is an energy that is unconscious that you've carried your whole life. Take a deep breath. That is an energy that has been embedded in you your whole life. That is why it keeps reappearing. So somehow that energy that is unconscious found a way to bleed into where you are now. So why is it imperative that we start to become super conscious in this present moment? Because your guides love you. Because these angelic beings of light who are guiding you on this path, they want you to close those loops. They want you to get out of this carousel of dysfunction that you've been in for a long time. We all have these. We all have traces of this, and it is a gradual, steady process. It doesn't happen overnight. However, if you still get triggered, it is an unconscious frequency that has found a way to bled through and over into your present moment. So the guides need you to become super conscious, so that you can start to fill in that grid again, and that you don't encounter or bump up against this when you're on your yacht in Hawaii and you attain the dream that you thought you wanted. If you don't resolve this unresolved frequency now, you might get to Hawaii, you might have that yacht, you might get married, you might leave that job that you're in, but there's always going to be a discordant or a dissonant pattern that is still there. So as we fill in that grid, we raise our vibrational frequency, we become whole again. We remember that we are whole and that we took the bait when we were splitting off and complaining, woe is me that I work at Starbucks, complaining, woe is me, I don't like my relationship. Instead of saying there's some juice here, there's some data here that I need to collect, there's some data that I need to extract from this current situationship so that I can eventually be on my ship. Right? So there's some juice that you need to extract from this current contract so that you can infuse yourself with more light, infuse yourself with more love, and begin to see everything as a teacher, everything as a gift. That person that you're in a relationship with right now, who's unconscious, is your greatest gift. Greatest. You have a companion, you have a constant mirror around you, a constant feedback system around you, and it is so easy for us to always focus on the glass half empty as opposed to half full. So we need to start in training and attuning to that higher resonance of vibration where we don't take anything for granted, where we realize and recognize that at Starbucks, you are healing people. But the thing is, you may not be healing those customers, but in the quantum field, this is very important, in the quantum field, you are healing your clients already. You are healing your clients already. And when they meet you, when you finally launch yourself, they're going to recognize you. That's because you already worked with them interdimensionally. You already worked with them interdimensionally. We are interdimensional beings, and we are starting to bring online these multidimensional abilities that are intrinsic to us, but we have to do our due diligence to work in collaboration and in cooperation with our guidance team to make that happen. So, how does this link in with April? There is a massive, massive window of opportunity in April to receive these attunements, to receive these energetic adjustments. Massive. You're going to have this incredible boost of energy, but you have to learn how to use that energy wisely and sensibly, because you may have a propensity to... I'm going to keep going because I think it's recording. I see myself really well. So we just got to roll with the punches. When you fall, make it part of the dance. So anyways, so what I was saying is, when you are, okay, so this immensity of energy that you're going to have, okay, you need to learn how to work with it wisely, because you're going to be all over the place. You're going to be all over the place. So be very strategic in where that energy is going. Where is it being directed? Where is that energy being directed? And if it doesn't get directed to the pile of leaves, or if it doesn't get directed to the most optimal outcome for you, don't do it. Okay? The ego has a way to craftily and sneakily overrule your kingdom when you have a lot of energy. And you don't want to waste that energy. You want to be really smart with how you conduct it. Okay? You need to be very smart with how you work with that energy. And for those of you who fell off, you're good. I didn't say much. I did not say much. So again, you're going to have a lot of energy this month. You're going to be jumping out of your skin. But can you ask yourself, where is this going? And if it's not serving the highest of the highest, then perhaps take a step back and say, I think I'm good. I'm not going to act on that right now. Okay, so there's a final message I want to share about April. This was so profound. I got this right before I logged on. The guide said to me that April is a month whereby we can start to really build a rapport with everything that is in the future right now through the medium. So think of the situation that you're in right now that you don't prefer. You have to start to think of the situation that you're in as a medium or as an interface for you to build a rapport with your future aspects, or with a future lover, or with a future dream that you have. So can you see it? It's like your future aspect is working with you through the current medium of your now. Think of how powerful that is. Think of how powerful that is. It is using this game that you're currently in to see how you're going to treat it. Also, so that you can teach it how you want to be treated. So when you're mean with employees or when you're mean with your customers, are you being kind to yourself? No. So you're going to be mean to that future lover, or that future lover is going to be mean to you because you're being mean to yourself. So April is this momentous time for us to see what we would have had in the future, to develop a strong bond. All right, my friends? So I hope that helps you. Please take heed of the hints and the clues and follow the breadcrumbs of your highest destiny this month. It's going to be an incredible, incomparable month where you are given so many opportunities to skyrocket into this next timeline. All right? So if you would like to donate, I would really appreciate it. I don't expect it though. My donation link is feelgoodlife.com/donate. feelgoodlife.com/donate. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And I love you guys so much. I'll speak to you soon.